Share via email. Report story. Uraraka. We stopped studying a little bit ago. She probably went back to her room by now, Iida said on the couch. In her room. This instantly got harder. I close my eyes and suck up some air. Resolve, resolve, resolve. I turn and head towards the girl's stairway. Midoriya, is there anything you two need to tell me? Iida says. I turn back around a little bit of blush on my face. Why would you think that? Iida stares at me, then turns back to his textbook. Nothing. Go on. I look at him for a few seconds before heading to Ochako's room. I felt bad about avoiding the topic of me and her around Iida, but that's gotta be handled a certain way. He's our friend and dating within our little trio. I'm not sure how to bring that to him. Also, he's not just my best friend but Ochako's as well. It wouldn't be right to tell him without her. We need to do it together. I make my way to Ochako's room, waving to Momo as I walked by and stood in front of her room. I felt the red already returning to my face, but I force it down. No more. No more letting the nerves take over. Still, I haven't been in Ochako's room since the dorm competition, and even then I stayed outside of it. I took a deep breath and knocked on her door. It's okay, I tell myself. I have a strategy now. I was going to use my weakness as an advantage. May not be perfect, but it'll do for now. Come in, I hear her voice say. I twist the doorknob and walk in. Hey Ochako, I close the door behind me. Izuku. Hey, she said, sounding kind of surprised, turning around blushing just a bit. I didn't expect to see you here, you've never visited me before. I'm sorry, am I bothering you? I should have asked before just coming to your room unannounced. Not at all, not at all. Ochako said, waving her hands in front of her face, shaking her head. In fact, I wish you would visit me more. Her face went notably red after saying that. Now that I'm paying more attention and forcing myself to keep my embarrassment and nerves under control, I can actually focus on her and what she does. She's a lot more like me when it comes to these kinds of things. Though that's not the only thing I had noticed. She was working at her table, fan on with an older MP3 player sitting on the table. Some wired earbuds were connected, but she only had one bud in, the other hanging, falling down her neck. She was wearing a black short sleeve shirt and some white shorts. Don't ask me when I started to pay attention to what she wears, I don't either. It was cute. What was that, Izuku? Ochako said quietly, looking at me with wide eyes, getting even more red. I mumbled that last word. That's the most embarrassing things I've ever said to a girl. I felt my vision go blurry. No, keep pushing, Izuku, stay in control. Commit to it. Commit. I forced my vision back, though I couldn't resist the blush, but I stayed strong. I said you looked cute in that outfit. I repeat quietly. Stay strong. Don't faint. I feel my legs shaking and my face burn, but I try and keep as straight of a face as possible. Ochako is staring at me with those big brown eyes of hers, also blushing hard. Please don't be offended. Promoted stories. You'll also like. New rewrite. Symbol of Hope, Izuku X Hair. 499K 8.5K, formerly named Weapon of a True Hero. This is the old version. The new rewrite can be found in Archive of Our Own, under a new name. Red Halo Heroes Today are corrupted by Falling. Depressed Deku fanfic complete 70.9K 1.3 Kever. Since Izuku Midoriya joined UA High School and settled in, he knew that the League of Villains were after him and his quirk, one for all. However, when the time C. Revenge of the Wronged Hero who happens to be 0.76.5K918, no one could have thought that someone as pure and innocent as Izuku Midoriya would be betrayed by his friends who he thought that he could trust with everything he has. Dream on B. K.6.5 K232 downwards arrow tip rightwards, in which a jealous bachelor signs a deal with the devil in order to win over the heart of his first love. Katsuki Bakugo has loved the PR. Feel Fear, My Dear 22212 MHA Story Experimented Broken, Scared Deku X Popular, Rich Uraraka. Along with Jerk Popular, Rich Bakugo. Non-villain, non-bad, Teen Shigaraki, and Teen Popular Rumi, Sort O. Villain Deku, Villain Rehab 10.6K237 words. 23,820 Izuku was just 14 when he met All Might and asked if he can be a hero, but All Might crushes his dreams and left him on a rooftop, what All Might didn't. I can't lose you 27.6K648 warning. Spoiler warning. Mentions of the events leading up to, including and following the internship arc warning. Katsuki has always been bad at expressing his feelings, but when TT thank you, though I look a mess right now, I don't know what you consider cute. She said really fast, looking away, holding her hands over her face now. What are you talking about? You always look cute, I say instantly. Mumbling powers, you rock. Though I'm gonna pass out soon if I keep standing with shaky legs. Ochako looked like she was about to die from embarrassment. She was looking around for anything else to focus on to avoid looking me in the eyes. I can finally tell she's not avoiding the situation out of being upset, she's happy but doesn't know how to show it. Looks like studying to be a hero and learning to observe pays off not just in hero work but in personal lives too. I walk forward and sit on one side of the table. That solves my leg shaking problem. I look at her, who gave up trying to find something to look at and now has her hands in her face. Payback time. Hey, look at me. I think I can feel steam coming out of my ears, but I look directly at her hands, where her eyes were under. She shakes her head. Come on, Ochako, look at me. She shakes even more vigorously. Why not? I ask, kind of letting the nerves take over for a split second, but I hold my resolve. She sits silent for a second. Because, she starts softly. Because Izuku is taking initiative, it's new, and embarrassing. I'm really happy. I don't want you to see this side of me. I chuck a bit. She is just like me, I feel a bit more at ease. Don't laugh. It isn't funny, she says, still behind her hands. Sorry, I start off. Ochako, I have a question for you, and I can't ask it if you don't look at me. I reach out and lightly touch her hands. She squeaked a bit, and I had shivers down my arms from her touch. Commit. I pull her hands away and she looks away from me slightly. I lean my body a bit to be in front of her view. Her eyes eventually find their way to mine. What did you want to ask? She asked quietly. Honestly, now that I've made it this far, this was clearly the easiest part of this transaction. Well, I know you wanted to go to the mall as a date. But, I want to make it more of an official date and do more than just go to the mall. So I want to ask you properly. Will you go on a date with me, Ochako? I'm pretty sure Ochako fainted for a split second. Is this how I am? Ochako. Are you okay? I said loudly, leaning over to catch her shoulder to stop her from completely falling over. Ochako snapped back to reality. Yes, I'm fine, she says, fanning herself with both of her hands. The pencil she was holding originally had started floating away. Quote dot. Yes, Izuku, I would gladly like to, said a now composed Ochako, though she was beet red at this point and looked as though she were trying her hardest not to collapse again. She seemed to be vibrating a bit. Somehow. Great, I say, suddenly bursting with confidence. Combine all the fear I had went through earlier today and these past few minutes I feel as though I could do anything. Also noticing that Ochako is basically as bad as me when she's not in control makes me feel way more comfortable. So this is what true confidence feels like. Well, if that's it, I start to get up but Ochako grabs me by the sleeve. No, don't leave. You can't just leave after doing that to a girl. Ochako says, looking at me still embarrassed. Hang out with me a bit, even if you're just on your phone or something, stay with me. Again. Usually that would have killed me, but after everything, that's one of the easiest requests I could have ever gotten. I smile. Sure. Kenlair here. I love this chapter. I'm so glad Izuku's mom gave him some much needed confidence. Deku has confidence. It's there. He just always lets his nerves get in the way. If he controls his nerves and use his natural observation skills, he really could be an adorable lady killer. This is a bit shorter than the other chapters, but this was basically a two-part chapter. This was originally part of the previous chapter that I had to split up. Still, I hope you guys enjoyed. See you guys in the next chapter. Kenny boy, where stories live. Discover now.